Well, there is no international break for the MUTV group chat, but we have got a spring in our step this morning with lockdown regulations easing here in England, at least, an upturn in the weather as well, and of course, no more international breaks to spoil our fun for the rest of the campaign. So let's bring in the lads, see how they are on this sunny-ish start to the week. It is Maisie, Ben, Danny, Wes. Morning, boys. How are you?
Morning, Stu.
And the one time where Ben is certain to be in his garden, he isn't. What's happened, mate? This is why aren't you there?
It's just not quite appeared yet. It's not quite. It said 10 o'clock this morning, and it's changed. It's still a bit nippy here until the sun comes out. So it's a shame we're not doing it on Wednesday. But it will be out on Wednesday.
Sorry about that, mate. And also, you can now play golf and tennis, whatever. Wes, you're gonna take advantage of that straight away, aren't you?
Yeah, I think me and Maisie, I'm ready to go. Tee off time. Yeah, tee off time. I think it's 10 to 1. So I'll have a good round today.
Well, will you have a good round today? You haven't swung a club, have you, for months?
You don't call me Gingerwoods for no reason, Stu. Come on.
The great thing about golf, Stuart.
Paddy, we haven't even introduced Paddy yet. And Paddy's joining. Let me just get this straight. I haven't even introduced him, and he's joining in the show. So I will introduce him in just a moment. But by the way, Maisie, we know what a big golfer you are. I mean, you playing today?
Yes, absolutely. 12:30. Yeah, can't wait. The shackles are off, Stu.
Are you confident?
No, absolutely not. No. Take 2 balls on the first tee. First one's a provisional, always.
Yeah.
You got to take a crap one on the first one, just in case you lose it. Don't get rid of your good ones.
Danny, are you any activity you're up to today now that we're allowed to?
You know what? I'm not playing golf. I can't play golf, but I've started doing. You ever seen like the calisthenics where them guys do pull-ups and hang off the bars and all that? So I'm doing a little bit of that in the park in Odsall, actually.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've started that. I don't know why, but I just thought I'm feeling weak as whatever. So I've got to get myself going again. So I'm going to start that. Yeah, that's what I'm doing today.
I want someone. Is there going to be any video evidence of that?
No, there'll be no video.
Come on.
Give me a while until I can actually do a pull-up properly, and then we'll be all right. But not for now.
So we've had international football over the weekend, but also, of course, United's women took centre stage at Old Trafford for the very first time. Casey Stoney's side beating West Ham 2-0. Lauren James was impressed with the goals. Just a thought on that, Ben. That's the first time it's ever happened. It won't be the last, will it?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it won't. I mean, obviously, the first team were always going to take priority, but I think when we were all growing up as well, the youth team, who we know are playing on Saturday against Liverpool, they were always allowed to play at Old Trafford, and it just gives everybody a lift when you walk out into that stadium. So yeah, let's hope for their sake that it isn't the last time that they get to play on there.
Yeah, on that point, Wes, you can see what it meant to them to have that experience of playing at Old Trafford. Once you've done it once, I suppose you're going to want to do it again, aren't you?
Yeah, and you could see they really enjoyed it, and they played well. They put in a good performance, but they want to play there whenever they can, and I'm sure Casey will do as well. So yeah, when the fixtures get brought out next season, if there is time for him to play there, I don't see why not, and hopefully there'll be crowd there as well.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing that we said time and time again, Danny, that what a difference it would make with a crowd. And we say it every week when the first team play, but when the women's team at Old Trafford, there would have been a terrific crowd there. That is a shame that they've missed out on that experience. Yeah,
it is a massive shame because he says the first time they'll have played there, but there will be many more, Stu. There will be. And, there's a big support behind the women now. You can see it whenever you go to a game at Leeds, there's a good following, and it'll only grow. So, yeah, whenever we get them back into Old Trafford, fans, that is, I'm sure there'll be a great occasion when it can be fully watched by everybody.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be the first of many times that they managed to play at Old Trafford. Now, the easing of lockdown means that you can basically meet up in gardens again with certain limitations, but it's good news. So there's no better garden to go to and a good chat than Paddy Crerand's garden. There he is. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm finished. You all right, lads?
Hi, Paddy.
Hello, Paddy.
Pad.
Good on you. Probably bored like me when you can't go to watch football live, actually.
Have you had the jabs? Have you had both jabs, Paddy? That's the most important thing.
Yes, I'm still alive. Disappointing a few people by that, actually. No, but I have both jabs, and it's important in actual fact for everybody to get 2 jabs. I mean, there's some clowns out there thinking you shouldn't be doing that, but certainly you should.
Now, we've got a lot to talk to you about football-wise, but I think we need to get out of the way the extraordinary news we're bringing to you on MUTV that Paddy Crerand is related to the new president of the United States, Joe Biden. Come on, let's hear it.
Quite funny in actual fact. Look, my mother, God rest her, came from a little village in Bwedoren, Donegal, Maracloha. And Joe Biden's great-great-grandmother's from the exact same place. And her name was Boyle. My mother's name was Boyle. There was only about 4 families in that little area.
I don't know. Is that all the evidence you've got?
Well, I don't think you need much more evidence than that. But I bet you any of you lads there could relate back to your great-great-grandparents, probably more so your grandparents, but I bet you could go back further than that.
You're similar age as well to Joe Biden, Paddy.
Thanks very much, Stuart. No, in actual fact, he's about 20 years younger than me.
Listen, what have you been watching the internationals, or have you been bored?
I've been watching them all, Stuart. I mean, what else can you do in actual fact? I watch all the internationals.
Luke Shaw, excellent for England.
I'm delighted for him in actual fact. He came to Manchester United and they looked to me as if he was going to have a great career as a fullback. Get that bad injury, put him out for a long period of time, and now he's back. I'm delighted for him because I think he's an excellent player. Bonus for United.
Yeah, amazing. I don't know if you saw Shaw, but a great ball in for Kane. But at least he's transferring the great form that he's shown here at United to the international. I mean, he deserved to play for England.
Stu, absolutely. But to be totally honest with you, I've not watched any international. I can't watch it. I'm footballed out. So when internationals come on, I don't even know. Who did we play last night or night before? I know one of them was San Marino.
Albania we played as well.
Albania yesterday.
Great team.
Albania. See, I don't even get why do we have to play qualifiers against them? I don't get it. They should be in their own pot. So at least 1 or 2 of them teams can actually get through to a major championship, because they have absolutely no chance of getting through any tournaments. If they had their own little group, then at least they can, they can enjoy it. They can actually get to a tournament rather than getting spanked 5-6-0 every week they play. I think FIFA should look at it. They've absolutely no chance of getting through. But going back to Luke Shaw, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, mate. He's been different class, and he's England's #1 fullback going into the tournaments because he's been exceptional. He really has.
I still think, what is the point in England playing San Marino and Albania and so on? What is the point? I mean, what does anybody get out of those games?
Paddy could play against them.
Even now,
I tell you, we could all play against them, and that's no disrespect to them, but that's what I'm saying. At least if they can all play in a certain group, the real poor teams, or the not poor, but you've got carpenters, butchers, candlestick makers, and everything in there. So if you stuck them into one group,
amazing. He still managed to beat the Republic of Ireland, Luxembourg.
Yeah. Luxembourg, yeah.
No, but what I'm going to say, Ben, is that Ireland can go in that group as well.
We've got a lot of viewers in Ireland, Maisie.
Let me tell you,
I'm only kidding, troops.
All my relations are Irish in actual fact. I don't want to be coming down and attacking you lot. I'm from Ireland.
Joe Biden would get a game for them.
Thing about it is, though, I mean, it's in the current time where travel's difficult. It's amazing that we're playing 3 games of internationals, and I think Anthony Martial limped off for France. We don't know the extent of his problem. Danny, that's such a frustration for club managers, isn't it? When you lose your players for 3 games towards the end of an incredibly busy season, and inevitably some get injured and won't be available for the next club game.
Yeah, it's the same. If anyone goes away for internationals and gets injured, it's frustrating. Especially if it's one of normally your better players, because they're playing on the international stage. But it can also be a benefit as well if someone's in the rhythm, like Luke Shaw's in his rhythm, just to get more games And you want to play for your country. You do. If you're lucky enough or good enough to have been picked for your country, then you want to go there and do what you've got to do. So, no, it's, I think, particularly difficult this year in the fact that everything's been so crammed together that it makes it more intense. But everybody's in the same boat, mate. And everyone's happy, I'm sure, to be selected for the international side.
Paddy, obviously, the Premier League starts again this weekend. United playing Brighton. How are you looking at it? Obviously, the City are miles clear, but United want to finish a strong second, don't we?
Oh, I think without doubt, sure. You look at City, they're a terrific side, actually, regardless of what we think about them. They are a terrific side, and they're the best team in England at the present moment in time. Could be the best team in Europe shortly, which would be a bit of a blow to most people, a lot of people in Manchester.
But do you see that as we've now got the Premier League coming back, but also the Europa League when we're playing Granada. Yeah. And if we're going to win a trophy this season, it has to be the Europa League. But when how do you prioritise?
Yeah, when you're at any football club, I think you want to win something. I mean, in a club of Manchester United should be winning something every season, actually. I mean, that's the standard that's been set down through the years for Manchester United. And the expectancy is that big in actual fact with the club. I mean, the world famous name Manchester United, as we all know, but you have to keep winning trophies somewhere along the way. Europe is the important one.
Yeah. How big has the Europa League become now then for United for this season, Wes?
Go on, sorry.
Paddy.
Go on, Paddy. You can answer that, mate.
No, you're going to say the same thing as me. Probably was that it's such an important. Every tournament's important for Manchester United. Every tournament's important for their fans more than anybody else. They want to win whatever competition they're in. Gone quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, that's the same. I mean, it's a stepping stone, isn't it? It's where we want to be. So we just have to keep pushing forward. And if we can win the Europa Cup, it's a step to where we want to be for next season as well. And then we can push on in the league and all the domestic cups as well. So it's one we want to win, and I'm sure Ollie will want to win it. He'll want to get that trophy, and then we can progress from there.
But as you know, and all you lads know yourself, when you're a player, you want to win whatever competition you're in. That's
100%.
Yeah.
Is the pressure on to get that trophy this season, Ben? Because obviously people make a big deal about the fact that United haven't won a trophy for a couple of years. How important is it so people will forget that and move on?
Yeah, I mean, the lads are still going to have a taste in their mouths about the fact that they were in 4 semi-finals consecutively and never made that step. Obviously, we've gone out in the FA Cup to Leicester at the quarter-final stage, and it is important. I mean, any manager, any player that is playing for a club, in charge of a club, to get that trophy, as Wes and Paddy have both said, is massively important, and especially for a club like United, where I think since Sir Alex Ferguson left, we won the Europa League and the FA Cup. Unless there's any more and the league, yeah. So it is imperative, really, that these lads know what it's like to win trophies. They've made massive strides in the last 12, 18 months under Ollie. Obviously, we've still got further to go because of where Manchester City are in the league, but it can really make a bold statement if they can go and win something like the Europa League this year, which they did a couple of years ago. And it will just show that they are making that progress. And all right, the Europa League, if you could pick one to win, wouldn't be the one that you would choose. You want your domestic title and you want to go and be the best team in Europe. We can be slightly second best to that with hopes of next season going one stage further.
Yeah, Maisie, how important is it there is some sort of tangible reward for these players, or to show that they've won something? How important is it, rather than finish, obviously, in the top 4, which hopefully we'll do? How important is it to actually get their hands on something tangible?
It's vitally important, Stu. I think once you win your first one, you get that hunger and you get that desire to go on and do it again. And it's, you don't want it to be going on another 3, 4, 5 years where, lads will miss out on getting trophies. So I think we all agreed a few months ago, when we were around the top, right at the top, that if you're going to sacrifice one, it would be later on in the year or later on in the season that you probably sacrifice the Europa League to go on and win the Premier League. But that's changed. Now, it looks as though we're safe and we're going to get top four. So for me, you put all your eggs in the basket and you go for Europa League. Granada shouldn't be a problem, I wouldn't think. And then, you can go on. I think it's Ajax and Roma in the next, and then you're in the final. So, yeah, I mean, it's imperative that United win things. Paddy's mentioned it. Wes has mentioned it. United are all about winning trophies, being there and thereabouts. We've missed out on the last 4 semi-finals, which is hard to take. You don't want to do that again. You don't want to become a habit of getting to semi-finals and missing out. So if you can get over the line, get to the final, get some silverware, it breeds so much confidence as well.
Pat, the Leicester FA Cup game showed how difficult it is to perform after you've played away in Europe on a Thursday night that we did in Milan. And it looked quite tired when we played Leicester 3 days later. So how awkward is that going to be for the final month or two of the season, the Thursday night?
To be fair, Stuart, to a great degree, I think Leicester are a very much underrated team in actual fact. I think probably they're the best footballing side in the Premier League next to City at the present moment in time. But it's always going to be a difficult match to go there anyway. I think Brendan Rodgers has done an absolutely magnificent job with Leicester City. And they're one of those teams that you don't really want to play against because you've got a problem with them straight away. I think they're a terrific side, Leicester.
Yeah, Wes, do you think the Thursday nights is an issue? It looked like an issue, didn't it, at Leicester? Do you think it is going to be an issue for us?
I mean, it doesn't help, Stu. I don't think it helps, but at the same time, it's been like that now since lockdown, really. There's many games, and so we can't really think of it like that. We just got to get on with it and mentally be prepared. And that's a big part of it, especially at this late stage of the season as well. Mentally, are we mentally ready for these games? And push through. Have we got that little bit more energy? Have we got that bit more than everyone else? And, if the lads can sort of gain that in them, they'll start to, get even better results.
Yeah. Brighton this weekend, Ben, it's still trying to work out how we won at Brighton at the start of the season with a penalty after the final whistle had gone. And we still won it. Every time I see Brighton, I think they're a good team. And yet they're almost very close to relegation zone. So what would you expect at the weekend?
Yeah, every time I watch them, I think they've obviously got a really good manager, young manager, hungry manager. The league table positioning really sort of defies belief at times because I've watched them. I mean, twice they've beaten Newcastle 3-0. And okay, Newcastle are no great shakes, but they really did play some great stuff, and none more so than against us. It was a game that we really should never have. Was that Bruno's 97th minute penalty when the final whistle had gone?
100th minute when it went in.
Yeah. So they are a really good footballing side, and they've got some dangerous players that you'd have to be really wary of. But I still feel as though it's not a bad game for Manchester United to be returning to after an international break. You would fully expect them to go out there and take 3 points and consolidate that second position. But it won't be easy. They're not a bad side at all, Brighton.
Yeah, Dan, Brighton are a decent side, aren't they? But it's one of those, you look at it and you think, we just, it's a must win, isn't it, if you're going to keep up the second place position?
Yeah, mate, it is a must win. And I think they always, in recent years have done well against us because they raised the game against us, like most people do. They've got some good individuals, but I think if we're on it, and it really boils down to our attitude, if we're on it, we wipe them away, and we should be doing that to them. The 16th in the league, 6 points off relegation. I agree that their performances don't sort of relate to that position, but you are where you are, and we should be going there and dominating teams like Brighton. No matter how many good individuals they've got, or whatever manager they've got, we've got to go there with a strong mentality.
Paddy, earlier in the season, January, February, when we went top of the table, did you think for a while we would or could go on to win the title, or did you fear City would eventually, just because of the strength of the squad?
I think most people that support United, I didn't think we were going to win the league, Stuart. I started off the season as the season going. I think a top 4 place would be it would be a victory for United to get into Europe next year again. No, I'm not so sure they're good enough to win the league yet. Maybe give them another year or two, and probably then they'll be fighting for the Premier League.
Yeah, because obviously second to City at the moment. How much work needs to be done, Paddy, to get us just to sort of just...
To be fair, Stuart, to a great degree, we've got quite a young side, actually.
Yeah.
We've got quite a young side, and the lads that have all been players will know the pressure you're under at Manchester United is ridiculous at times. You have to win every game you play. You're supposed to win it, and you get all that media pressure on you as well. So it can be very difficult at times. You've got to have a strong character to be a player for Manchester United. Most papers, the headlines are always about United, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And I think, to be fair to most papers, it's never good. I think a lot of them prefer United not to be doing well rather than doing well. That's the impression I get anywhere I go, all the time I played and afterwards, even up to the present day. I think there's a lot of anti-United stuff out there.
Maisie, it's just been over the last couple of days, Ollie's second anniversary since taking permanent charge of United. You look at it overall, and you look at where we are to where we were when he took over. Do you see the progress?
I do see progress. I still think there's a little bit of clearing out as well that needs to be done, but also more investment needs to come in. I think every player that he has brought in has come in and done exceptionally well, and I think a couple more additions coming in will strengthen the squad and push us that little bit further to get into to City. I mean, Liverpool have been poor this season. I mean, City's sort of like the benchmark of the Premier League, where if you end up above them, then you've got a fantastic chance of winning the league. But I think if Ollie looks back, he's changed the culture of the club, the thinking of the club, the mindset of the players, and it's got it back to where we all knew it was, before the gaffer left. So I think the results might not prove it exactly on the pitch as everyone wants it, but behind the scenes, there's been a lot of change in the right direction, and now it's a case of as I say, a bit more investment, and then we'll be there or thereabouts, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave, you're talking about investment. Remember, when you pick the papers up each day or what's going on in football at the present moment in time, to buy a poor player, the fee is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The fees are just absolute madness.
I know, Paddy, but the rewards are massive. If United win the league or win the win the European Cup, the rewards are there. You get the money back. So you have to invest.
David, how do you get the money back, Tim? Because you can't get any more people into Old Trafford than gets in at the moment.
Well, there's rewards for winning the league. There's rewards for winning the Champions League, money-wise. The sponsor, you get more sponsorship deals coming in that not that we need anymore because we're in with them all. Yeah. But I think it just gives a great buzz as well for the club as well, knowing that you're either European champions or the champions of the Premier League. It's a great feeling. We've been there. You know what it's like. Well,
the most important people are with you in the fact that, yes, if we win trophies like that, are the supporters.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the champions of Europe. You look about you and it's either Liverpool or Manchester City are the big threat at the moment to Manchester United. They're the big threat. And I would probably think, living in Manchester, the two most clubs that United fans dislike intensely is City and Liverpool. I would think, there's no question about that. If you ask any United fan who's the two dislikes, it would be City and Liverpool. I'm not sure if that's the right order. Liverpool and City.
On talking about fans, Paddy, do you miss Old Trafford? When are you going to get back there?
Oh, sure, we all miss Old Trafford. I mean, it must be dreadful for the players more than anybody else. You're on that pitch. I know sometimes you get a right going over from fans if you play a bad pass or do something like that, but it's all part of the game. I think players miss fans more than anybody else.
Paddy, it's been great to see you, mate. Glad you're well. You're okay, aren't you? People miss you. You're all right, mate.
I'm fine, thank you. And it's nice to see all the lads anyway. We've got a smile on our face, thank God.
Yeah, great to see you, mate.
Good to see you, Paddy.
God bless, lads.
Hey, Paddy.
Cheers, Paddy. Take care.
Before we go, just want to hear this comment from Jason on our YouTube channel saying, Stuart, what's happened to Lou Macari? Haven't seen him appear on MUTV all season. Would love to hear from him and find out his how his homeless shelter has been coping during the pandemic. He is such a humble bloke. It would be embarrassed to be described as a living saint, but he truly is. Please get him on the show. We will certainly try and do that very soon. And what he does with the homeless in Stoke is absolutely unbelievable. Extraordinary story, which we've covered extensively on MUTV, and it's been covered everywhere and deserves to be, because he does an extraordinary job. Lads, thanks for joining us. If you want to get in touch, by the way, mutv@manunited.co.uk on email, or comment on the official YouTube channel. Wes, Maisie, do enjoy let us know how you get on, won't you, with your first round?
Don't worry.
Not confident, are you?
No.
No. Good to see you, boys. See you again next week. Take care.
See you later.
Cheers, everyone.
guys.
See you later.